got my supermarket shopping done, and of course I got a phone call while I was shopping, most inconvenient time to do it. They wanted me to take down some details, and of course I couldn't do it. Got my, I've given the okay for the plumber to come around and fix the toilet. They've quoted me $132, which is probably reasonable considering how much plumbers normally charge. It's a fairly low price, not much of a job. Figured out where the water mains is. I just didn't feel confident at tackling it myself because I don't think I got the right tools. I went down to the supermarket, wanted to get myself a chicken, and that's not bad actually. Some of the meat there was quite cheap at Coles today, so that was good. Although I did get one, I got Brussels sprouts I thought were about $2 and ended up the pack's $4. Again, the signage is deceptive, and it happens all the time in supermarkets I find. And then I got hassled by the checkout chick because I had the audacity to touch the perspex that was shielding her from us unkempt customers. So she had a go at me. I thought, God. And then she also had the habit of not putting my produce across far enough so I could actually easily collect and put in my bag. So I wasn't overly impressed with her. So, and then when I'm walking back, some guy slumped on the ground, says, "Have you got $5, love?" He didn't even realise what my gender was. That's how far out of it he was. He corrected himself, and that's about it. So he just walked on. So not the most illustrious day shopping. But at least I got myself a chicken, which is good. Very versatile. Unbelievably cheap though. It's only about $8 something. It's reasonable size. So they had some really expensive ones across the way. I don't know why. They had the RSPCA ones are about $8 something a kilo, and the one I got was I don't know, about $2 or $3 or something like that. I hope it's not a battery hen one. I mean, they don't seem to indicate that with the actual the chickens you buy. They should. So maybe I should have bought the RSPCA one, but gee, it's not. Eggs are pretty much the same price. I don't know why anybody buys cage eggs, because they're pretty well the same price as the others. But these RSPCA ones are pretty expensive. So if it was closer to the same price, but I suppose I'll have to look into that because I don't want to be buying battery hen stuff. I think it's wrong. I don't mind paying a little bit more. Yeah, a bit dismayed with the result in New York. They had a primary election for AOC, and it looked as though she's getting some pretty tough competition, but apparently she rocked it in. It's pretty sad because not many people voted in the primaries. It's just basically to qualify you as a candidate for the main election. But I was hoping she'd get her ass kicked because she's been a real pain in my opinion, and she's got terrible policies. She's conceited, narcissistic, and with absolutely unworkable policies. A lot of people mock her, but she seems to be popular in this particular constituency she's in New York, which is half Latinos. So I suppose that's a big advantage for her, and 75% non-white. So I guess people do vote due to their ethnicity, which is pretty sad actually. It's a shame that's the case. She drove a lot of jobs out of New York with her crazy policies regarding Amazon, and but she's not going to get punished. She's going to get rewarded, and so we'll see. It's just the state of modern politics. Very, very depressing at times. But everybody says, you know, democracy is a pretty stuffed system, but it's the best one we've got, and there seems to be a bit of truth to that. Meanwhile, there's reports that Xi Jinping has actually fled Beijing with a few other top members of the Communist Party. It looks like they might have left town because of the new virus outbreak. Well, welcome to my bucket duty, thanks to my cistern being on the blink. This will hopefully be the last time I have to use the bucket. Good exercise, but quite labour intensive. You can see how much water's in there, and I'll just go and now douse it into the bowl. And this is how it's done for the uninitiated. Makes you appreciate the joys of the cistern, the modern cistern, the wonder of plumbing. There is a downside to this too, apart from the fact that it's obviously labour intensive. It's good exercise, but the problem is that you get spillage around the periphery of the actual bowl, so that's another downside to it. But like I say, it does provide good exercise, and it's actually quieter than a cistern using a bucket, so it's not all negative. Yeah, just got my plumbing done, the cistern fixed. Look, I took about maximum 20 minutes, so pretty good earner for them for 120 bucks. I supplied the parts too, so they did all right out of that. But then again, by plumbing standards, that's probably very cheap, so I can't complain. And it's finally finished, and it's actually quieter than it used to be, so it seems to be a vast improvement with the new inlet valve that's been inserted into the cistern, so that's good. I'm just about to catch a bus down to Murphy's. I've got a chook to cook today because it's actually pretty close to its expiry date, which is tomorrow, and so I want to get back early and get myself some gin in the meantime. Apparently there's been a lot of trouble on the buses lately with violence, and the drivers have been coming in sick because they don't want to drive, and it's got so bad now that there's a police blitz on the buses this week, so they're travelling on a number of buses to make sure the violence is quelled, which is fair enough. But you know, this is what happens when you don't have enough policing, I guess. And the extreme example of that is what's happening in the US with the inner cities falling apart because you have weak governments who won't send in the police when they're required. So hopefully it won't get to that stage in Australia. It's a lot better here, although we do have a crime issue with youth crime here, so it's something to be remembered. Yeah, usually the US is a more extreme example than a place here. We've got our own issues, of course. There's more of a racial element up here, I guess, and which isn't always the case everywhere in Australia, but it's not exactly unusual. And but here it is a bit of an issue. Not that you see that much violence around, but you hear a bit of language, but it's generally not too bad. And I've seen only one punch up, and that was between the same group of people. I wasn't involved, thank God, but someone did get beaten up in the CBD the other day. Didn't have any details of who the offenders were or whatever, but yeah, you know, you just got to be careful. Like I say, I feel much safer in a place like Vietnam, I really do, but gee, my chance, I don't know when I'm going to get back there, the way things are going with the corona and everything. It's probably going to work out well for me because I've got to stay here anyway, as it turns out, so for a while, a few months, and hopefully by when summer ticks around, I might then be able to work something out. Just because Qantas isn't travelling overseas until midway through next year doesn't mean that other airlines aren't. As I said, Vietnam Airlines are supposed to be flying out of Sydney in August. Now, whether that actually happens, I don't know. But I'll still need to get a Jetstar flight from Cairns to Sydney anyway, so I'll use up my allowance there. But yeah, I'd be happy to fly Vietnam Airlines. It's just means an overnight stay in Sydney, but you know, apparently there's cheap places near the airport, and yeah, I could either do that or just do a very short tour of the city, because I haven't been there for that long. It's, you know, a really long time. Anyway, it's a relief to get that plumbing thing out of the way. It's been hanging over my head for some time, and I may have been able to do the repair myself, but I don't know. I'm not a handyman, and quite frankly, they were professional. They said they were going to turn up around midday. They did what they said. They rang beforehand. It was really hard to understand the plumber over the phone when he rang me. I thought he was in Atherton. He was some other suburb, and he was 20 minutes away. And he was good for his word. Couldn't get inside couldn't get his truck in because the damn remote control doesn't work. So I've got to go on the body corporate about that. So when he got all his... he got his tools through the gate. That wasn't an issue, so that was all fine. It's only a small job, so that worked out okay. But if it had been a large job, it would have been a pain because he wouldn't have been able to get his truck in. So lucky it wasn't. Lucky he only needed just a shifter and a few other tools, and he was fine. And yeah, he's pretty clean. He got it all done quickly, and yeah, no complaints. They are professional, give them that. So yep, they stuck to the quote and they turned up on time. And that was yesterday. I told them I wanted the job done, so it was pretty quick. Maybe it's easy at the moment, you know, with the corona situation. Maybe it's easier to get tradies around. I don't know. But they got a very good review online. I think it's probably well deserved by the looks of things. Just got to be careful who you get. I could have gone and get another quote, but I couldn't be bothered, and I figured that the feedback was so positive that, and Google's fairly accurate as a review platform, that I thought I'd go with it. And yeah, it all seems to have worked out well. Now, just hopefully this bus driver hasn't taken a sickie and will turn up. Fingers crossed. We'll see how it goes. I think the word's got out that there's free bus rides on the agenda because it was packed again, but not for much longer. Next week they're back to paying for the trips. So the freebies finish as of this weekend, I presume. I presume Monday's the day you're paying. It's not much anyway. The amount of money I save on buying gin here is well, I don't know. I'd say I'd be saving. You can't get the Windsor gym elsewhere, so it'd be about $10 saving for buying a couple of bottles. So definitely pays for itself. And I usually pick up something else along the way too. So it's a good deal even when I'm paying. So no complaints. But I just bought the same thing I bought last time, which is 2 of the Windsors, and Windsor gin, that is, and a couple of clean skins ports, and they're about $7 each, $6.99. That's the same thing. To a blind like me, I thought it was 6, of course, when I first saw them, but now I know they're actually 7. But what happened when they tried to scan the gin, wouldn't scan. I'm pretty sure that happened last time. That was almost 2 weeks ago, and they still haven't fixed it up. A bit slack. So there's obviously something wrong with the coding in for that particular product, and I would have thought they sell a lot of it. I mean, it's pretty cheap. It's about the cheapest gin you're going to find. So I'm a bit surprised that that's still the case. But anyway, not to worry. I've got what I came here for. Now I've just got to pop off at beautiful Westcourt and pick up my eBay items. Not sure which one it is. It could be the case for this for the GoPro, or it's going to be jockey shorts, boxer shorts, sorry. Yeah, the Levi boxer shorts with all the defects, like no crux or no crutch or elastic band or God knows what, no fly. I don't know. Minor defects, what's that mean? They spontaneously combust? Could be anything. But I guess they're relatively cheap. I think it was 5 for $37. So hopefully it's decent fabric though. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't want sort of some flimsy stuff. I want something with a little bit of body, so we'll see how we go. Always good to try something new, especially if it's only $37. I mean, I've been spending today anyway. I still got plenty. I still had cash left over from my trip. I just hadn't spent it. I never use cash, so yeah, paying the plumber today, no problem. And like I say, that would be definitely down the bottom end of any plumber charges. You normally probably start around $200 for doing anything. So I think if I got anything done for $120, and it was a small job, I still think it's good. So, like I said, the word relief comes to mind, which is probably appropriate because I'm talking about the dunny. Oh, how witty I am. Not. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.